Good day, all. Ira Epstein of Linn & Associates with your metal market wrap-up for Wednesday, and we're now at the 24th of February 2021, and I'm early. I'm right after 5 o'clock p.m. Crazy day. You're going to read about it. GameStop went nuts again today. Late in the day, the market went up and doubled in value. That's nothing. In the aftermarket, it went from $90, where it settled in that range, to $200. I don't know where it's at right now, but it's saying, hey, the hearings are over, let's go. I don't know what's going on with things like that, but boy, you talk about volatility and you talk about wanting to get the government involved, this does it. Okay, been around this game a long time. These things just don't go away. When it goes like this, and there was already a hearing about it, and now it's doing it again, you can almost count on it. And by the way, it's not a signal. I got something in my eye. That's a problem. As for the metals, they're doing better. The market's feeling good. Moderna came out late today, and Moderna said that they are now going to test right now. They've done a variant for the South African variant of the COVID-19. That's a big step. So they're already going into that monetization. And maybe they're going to get this down to the point, like I figured, that every year we're going to get a shot, just like the flu shot if you take it, against the COVID-19. I bet on it. But you're also getting to the point where things are coming alive. As this happens, you start saying, hey, am I going to go to a movie theater again? Am I going to be able to go to a ball game? Am I going to go on a trip? Cruise lines, what's going to happen? You start thinking that way about everything. And that's not being lost on the energy cycle, which is still very strong. Bonds and notes, you can see they just keep humming with higher yields. Fed Chair Powell did speak today in front of the House Finance Committee. Guess what? No change, but he did talk about something. He talked about not Bitcoin, but the U.S. creating a digital coin this year. They're very involved. Doesn't mean it'll be released this year. Big studies going on it. If you were to ask me, I think that we're going to see the U.S. get a digital coin. Other countries get them. I think it's coming. It won't take away from the asset class just yet of all these other types of coins, and they're on a run to the upside. But at the end of the day, what do you do with them if we have digital coins? And I've just got to ask that question. I don't know. All right. So as we take a look, you can see basically everything nicely in the green. As we take a look at the gold on a weekly area chart of just closes, well, we are up for the week. So that's a little different going into the Thursday trading session. We're up 1.16%. The market, as you can see, is just hanging here, hasn't done an awful lot. But if you were to get over 18, 15, 20, that negates the downtrend, and if that happened tomorrow, it could create the pattern of higher lows and higher highs. This is a really important number now. Where are the key moving averages? Well, 18, 13, 30 is the 18-day average of closes. So now we get some interesting facts. First off, we did have a bearish crossover. I want to come back and point this out. Right here, you can see the 100 and the other. You never did make a lower low when that 100 went under the 200. I found that fairly fascinating. It doesn't have to do that, but it is an important number. As I said, everything is lined up bearish there, but since that's occurred, the market's now coming up for its first real test of a key moving average at 18, 13, 30. So from where we're at, that's just over, $10 higher. We'll see what happens. If it can poke through there and get through 18, 15, 20 and close over 18, 13, 30, you get your first buy signal. Now, it's got a lot of risk, plenty of risk. You do that, the risk is back to 17, 82, 20. This is not for the faint of heart. That's going to be a $3,000 risk on a full-size futures contract if that buy signal were to happen. If it were to happen, potential targets are here, but more likely it'll be in this area where a window envelope would probably come in. As we take a look at Bollinger Bands, Each time we've hit this lower band, we spent very little time, and I'll say that again, very little time under it, and you get a bounce back to that 18-day average and you have failed. So do I think the pros are going to be looking at that in a hard way to go short? Well, where's the momentum? And we can answer it better. You're no longer oversold. So my answer is win, lose, or draw, they're probably going to be fairly bold there, flipping to the bull side if you clear that other number and trying to see if they can stop the market at that, because in the past it's done a pretty good job of holding it, and these highs didn't take out previous highs. So I don't know. I'm just telling you what the patterns are. I'm not giving you market predictions, that's for sure. As we look at the gold-silver ratio, silver's still gaining on the gold market. Intraday it moves a little, sometimes where the gold's gaining on it, but overall as you come to this, back to that differential on a daily chart, it's there. And in the silver market, you throw out what now? You could get a buy signal tonight just by this market taking out today's high of 28.15. Why? As of the close, forget Thursday, what we're in for the evening trade now. As of tonight's close on Wednesday, we have a higher high, lower low. However, you already have the higher high in place. If today's low of 28.15 were taken out, what would happen, the way that I teach this, is you'd have then higher lows, higher highs. Where you could get caught as a bear, I want to give both sides always of it. Let's assume you do that. Then if you came back under 27.41 and a half, you're pointing back down here. You're also, if you get the buy signal, in an overbought condition because you already have a reading of 74. So I like to show all sides of the story here. You haven't hit that number. That hasn't occurred. So the market, if it were to just right now and not take out the highs of today, and just break down, you'd still have the lower low, higher high. That's how that setup is developing. In the copper market, it's nonstop. You're at 432. I think BNN better call me back in Australia on the shows that I was in when I was talking this. I said I didn't think we were going much under 350, so I'll give that part. I think I got pretty accurate. They have the show that I did. I did not expect 430, but I expected over $4. My gosh, is this market just on a tear to the upside? It'll be terribly overdone. If you trade it up here, the volatility is going to be insane. You are talking $3,000 risks blindfolded. In the platinum, okay, do we have a trend? Like silver, not yet. You got the higher high, lower low scenario. You do not have that same setup going for this market the way you did in the silver. You have nothing going here. You'd have to get bearish by closing back under 1214.70. That's a long way from where you're at right now. I just don't see a trade setup either way. In the palladium market, this is for the faint of heart, right? But as we talked, I said this market's going to surprise traders as it starts coming back for the old highs. Why? Well, things are getting better, any way you want to look at it. You know, as much as you hear about electric vehicle cars, do you honestly think we're ready to have all electric vehicle cars right now? The ones that are going to be bought are going to be primarily with catalytic converters. So you've got the platinum and palladium markets fully in play. This market's very much in play. They keep talking they're going to develop technologies to not use these expensive metals. Great. By the time they get it, it'll be too late. Then they won't need it as the catalytic converter, right? You don't need it with an electric car. We're not at that point. Maybe we get 10%. On a great year, 20% of the cars sold will be electric, but you don't have the service fill-ups for them. You don't have all the other infrastructure yet you need in place. There are times when the talk, and you have to understand the talk is the talk. And then you play through it and you start going back to the markets, as I've been telling you, and I'm going, they can say all they want. After you made the highs last year, you needed to consolidate. That's what's been going on in this market. Do I think we're in for all-time highs? My guess is yes. In the dollar index, now, what can this market do? Well, it has not been in a trend. It's got a higher high, lower low, and it's oversold. Both numbers are over for the first time 20. So we're in the first day of several that's needed to keep that number under 20 to get embedded. If the market falls here, I would be looking for the 89, 84 area or lower, wherever that Bollinger Band comes in, to be the first support. If the market breaks through and does not take out, well, actually, if the market doesn't take out today's high tomorrow, does that matter? No. If you take out this low and this low, first today's low, what would that do on the chart? On a swing line, that would give you a lower high. You've already got the lower lows. The trend would turn down. So taking out 89.96 tomorrow will do that, as long as you don't get back over the high that you made today of 90.44.5. You have a leg developing to the downside. Hasn't fully developed, it's in the process. So that's my job here, to point those things out. The last thing, do me a favor. If you like these videos, would you hit like on your YouTube? Not a lot to ask of you. It's that simple. If you like them, go to like. If you want to see our offerings, go to our webpage at www.iraepstein.com. That simple. I'm Ira. Please hit like. Take care.